Welcome back to another edition of Paul's Wild Adventures. Today I'm taking a drive out to Surprise Canyon, which is in the Panamint Mountains. Surprise Canyon is it's a road that leads up to an old mining town called Panamint City. Panamint City is a ghost town today. Got its start back in 1872 with the discovery of copper and silver. By 1874, there were 2,000 people living in that little town. Had a main street that was a mile long. But the town had a boom and bust history, only intermittently having a post office. And by 1983, really met its demise when a flood destroyed the road going up Surprise Canyon. In fact, it took the road out all the way down to the bedrock. So everything that was left up there, equipment and vehicles, essentially got abandoned. And fast forward a few more years to 1994, with the expansion of Death Valley and the Desert Protection Act, the road was blocked with a locked gate. So now it just makes a really cool backpacking route. You have to climb up a series of waterfalls to get up to the town, and if you're willing to risk exposure to hantavirus, you can stay in any one of the abandoned cabins that are up there. Not me, I'll just find myself a campsite somewhere else. Nonetheless, it's going to be a good walk. It's a strenuous walk. It's got a lot of climbing going up there. So come join me for another adventure. So to get out there to Surprise Canyon, you have to go by the ghost town of Ballarat. And if you think these ruins might look a little familiar, it's because you might have seen them in the movie Easy Rider. In the opening scene, where Peter Fonda takes his watch off and throws it into the dirt and then rides away, was shot here. Here's another old mud house that's still barely standing. It's a fixer-upper. I got the Jeep all buttoned up. Let's get after it. The first part of the hike here in Surprise Canyon, it's really walking up this creek. Brought some water shoes for this hike. It's probably a good idea. You end up walking through this creek bed for quite a ways. I don't like spending the rest of my hike walking with wet shoes. It's not a good idea. This is Brewery Spring. You can see the sign there. This water just comes right out of the rocks. When you leave Brewery Springs, you're in this tunnel. And over here, it's an old mine shaft. I'm not going in there. Look at this guy. He's just sitting there catching some rays. He's not even going to be bothered by this backpacker coming through here. So up here in Panamint City, there are some old cabins. You can stay in them if you like. You just got to kick the rats out. Some old mining structures. Do not open. Devil inside. I'll take their word for it. Well, if you stay in here, you got a wood stove at least. I won't stay in here. This is just a place where you're likely to get hantavirus. And probably the most iconic structure in Panamint City is this big smokestack. fed water. Now I just hang the bag from a tree. And hook my water filter up to it. Voila! Filtered clean water. I love these gravity systems. No more pumping water filters like the old days. These Sawyer filters are great. One of the things I really like about backpacking in the Panamint Mountains is that I don't have to worry about bears. Worst thing I got to worry about out here is some mice getting into my food, but that's about it. It's day 2, and I'm going to take a day hike up to, I'm going to try to go to Sentinel Peak. Let's see what happens. I'm almost to the top, and this is one tough hike. I still got to go over that. I'm up here just hiking along this knife edge ridge line. So this is 9,600 and change in altitude. You can see the bottom of Death Valley over there. And then that peak over there is Telescope Peak. And that's Panamint Valley down there. I've climbed higher mountains. I can't recall climbing a tougher mountain than this one. This one involved a lot of scrambling. Hence the reason I brought the gloves, and they came in really handy. I always like looking at the register, see who came up here recently. So there was a group of people that came up April 30th. It's May 13th right now. So April 30th, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that came up. And there was nobody until the 7th. One guy or two guys came up. And then there was somebody, 2 women that came up today. It says they started at 3:30 a.m. to start their day hike. I never passed them. Of course, I went a route that probably most people wouldn't take. There's no real trail coming up here. You just kind of make your own trail. So I chose to just get on one of the spurs leading from the valley I was camped in and just try and go up the backbone of that spur, figuring I could avoid all the underbrush that grows down in the draws. I don't know if it was the best route. Took me about 3¼ hours to get up here. I'm ready to go back and have a nice long drink of water, because I only brought 2 liters of water, and I'm probably getting a little skinny on my water supply. So I pulled my hydration bladder out of my pack, and I hardly drank anything on the way up here. That makes me feel good. I can go down in comfort.